Thank you, Governor. And as you recall in my opening remarks, I talked about how the President is going to have such a powerful impact on leave a footprint in the United States for a generation to come in the way that the President has such an important role in the selection of Supreme Court justices. As you know, over the next several years, in the first term of the next President of the United States, 4 of the 9 Supreme Court justices who were born in the 1930s will be over 80 years old, meaning that the next President of the United States could pick up to 4 members of the Supreme Court. What we want to know is a couple of things. First off, what is your overarching judicial philosophy? How would you expect members of the Supreme Court and other courts, the lower courts, to interpret the Constitution? And when should courts override the decisions of elected officials?
I tend to be Jeffersonian in my understanding of the Constitution and the role of the judiciary. Jefferson believed that the judiciary, while equal to the other 2 branches of government, if there was a weaker branch, it would be the judiciary, because the Congress had the power of the purse, the executive branch had the power of the sword. The judiciary had the power of neither. It had the power of its opinion, the power of its thoughts and its ideas. It is an equal partner in the 3 branches of government. But I do not believe that the judiciary is a superior branch of government. It's a doctrine that we have succumbed to over the past number of generations, and a very dangerous one. And I'm sure we'll get into the details of that. But if I were picking Supreme Court justices, I would want them to be more in the model of a Scalia, a Thomas, an Alito. Not because they're perceived as conservative, but because they're perceived as people who believe that we should let the language and the actual words and the intent of the writers of those words in the Constitution be the guide by which we judge. Not culture, not politics, not trends, not thoughts, but the words. Because Jefferson was, again, I think, totally on point when he said that if the judiciary goes ex cathedra to the text of the Constitution itself, and they begin to deviate from what was the intended purpose, which was simply to make sure the Constitution was being adhered to, he said that the Constitution would become, and these were his words, a thing of wax. In other words, moldable, malleable into whatever the opinion of the day was. That's a very dangerous place for us to go, if we indeed are a constitutional republic that are bound by the document rather than bound by our passions and our feelings. So I would want to make sure that somebody truly believed that the Constitution was the highest order of our frame of government, respected it, believed it, and adhered to it.